Wah.
Yeah.
Okay. Hello. I'm Dee.
Hello. I'm Ray.
And we are Homestuck.
No, we're Herpetology.
Oh, God. Right. I know what I'm doing. I'm an adult.
We keep saying that, but I don't think it'll ever come true. Love you anyways.
Just don't tell them. That's all I care.
I'll tell them all I like.
Okay.
Just you don't tell them. You watching this.
Yeah, please. You're in on the conspiracy now. There's no such thing as adulthood. It's conspiracy of responsibility.
Yeah.
I got distracted by a pigeon outside.
Maybe we should close the curtains.
Stay focused. No. No, we can do this. All right.
Sure, we'll go with that.
All right. Hi. We are somewhat punchy after having overdid it quite a bit on the Sweet Girl and Hella Jeff episodes, part 1 and part 2, which took a great deal of time to track things down on, as well as to present things to you. So I was kind of tempted to blow off this week, but I went, nah.
And
we can just do a short, sane episode. Yes, we'll see how long it actually is, though.
Well, I've kept mine relatively short.
I've kept mine relatively short for me. Anyway, we're starting at the Midnight Crew.
Ooh.
Which is currently page 2227-ish.
Yes.
Okay. You want to start or shall I?
On that page it said, "Oh, Midnight Crew."
Okay.
Not really helpful, but there you go.
Indeed. Okay, so Midnight Crew. There are several instances of Midnight Crew that are not Homestuck per se. Some of them connect, some of them don't. Okay, so, shoot, I should also notice on 2227, this is the point of view is from Dave's desktop. You can see his desktop in the background. He has 3 tabs open: Helloblog, SBAHJ, and MSPA, which still I'm just like, yes, you're in MSPA. You can't have MSPA on your desktop and have it be exactly the same thing, whatever. But the real annoyance that I was like, I don't think this is quite in character, but okay, it's convenient, is that he only had 3 tabs open instead of 7 million. Dave strikes me as a guy who doesn't close tabs.
I don't know, maybe he's going more professionally like you do and have like certain tabs that he opens and closes or something. Or maybe he has an entirely different browser he has specifically for all the tabs or something.
Oh, it could be. Midnight Crew. Okay, the first one comes from John Burge, a Chicago policeman and police commissioner, I think. Anyway, he led the Midnight Crew starting in 1972, which was an informal department of the police department that used torture to extract confessions from people. Between 1972 and 1991, which to me is shockingly recent because I was in fucking high school, at least 118 people were tortured. Beating, suffocation, burning, electrical shock to the genitals, etc. They said no more. Another Midnight Crew. Some Christian/gospel singers started a group, still going, I think, started in 2001 by SBAHJ-ening in Lagos, Nigeria. Their most famous song is Igwe, which means, I think, like honored Lord or something like that.
Okay.
But it's all about how Jesus is cool.
Okay.
All right. So I was gonna like, maybe we should link to it. And I'm like, no, it's good, but it's really cheesy. I don't know. It's not my cheese. Okay. Another Midnight Crew was an Eddie Norton song, which eventually became the Midnight Crew song that was redone later by the Homestuckers. The Eddie Norton song, Eddie Norton worked in Philadelphia as a cop before he turned to music. So he was called the Ragtime Cop because he started out in burlesque. Like a lot of times that burlesque shows they'd have to have piano players because they didn't have recorded music at that point. They'd have, this was like the 1890s. So they'd have a piano player in the burlesque thing. And while the ladies were changing costumes, they would have musical numbers and kind of funny bits in between stuff. That evolved into vaudeville, which Morton followed into vaudeville. Vaudeville is like a Saturday Night Live with semi-naked ladies most of the time. It also has more roots in educational stuff via Chautauqua in New York. But that's kind of, I'm not real solid in the timeline. But there were a bunch of weird little small musical groups that traveled around and either did educational stuff, burlesque, or both. Often the both was called vaudeville. Side note, I forgot to write this down, so I'm not entirely sure of dates or anything, but Julie Andrews of Mary Poppins and the Princess Diaries movies. She grew up in a vaudeville family in Britain. And so like her parents were like, "You're 8, it's time for you to sing, dance, and do acrobatics." And she's like, "Cool." And so she made her way to movies through like a late flowering of vaudeville. So yeah, vaudeville in living memory for at least Julie Andrews.
Side note, whenever you're saying VOD, my brain is remembering instead VODs as in VOD. Whenever you do a stream and you want to put it online and stuff, they're referred to as VODs and stuff. Like usually it's the whole stream unedited as well.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know what that one stands for, honestly. Maybe video on demand or something like that.
I don't know.
Yeah, but
I don't know what VOD. That is after my time. I probably know another word for it, but whatever.
It also just in general reminds me of like circus clowns, and you're gonna be like, "Yes, I ran off to the circus." No, I ran off to the VOD life and stuff. I joined the burlesque, ma.
Burlesque. Circuses often had burlesque tents, specific like music and the strippers and everything else. They just had burlesque tents. It's one of the side shows. They were like basically freaks and feats of whatever strength, dexterity, flexibility, whatever, in the burlesque tent. And when we lived in Tampa, the Showman's Museum had little displays about the vaudeville acts. That's where you could see like the glittery costumes and stuff.
I just kind of assumed they'd like we're all at the same tents, but interesting to know that they were in the offside show.
They wanted to upcharge for adults.
Yeah.
Some things never change. We're going to ensure the kiddies don't have access to porn and upcharge the adults. That's what it was. Wow.
Some things never change.
Some things never change. Anyway, back to Eddie Morton. I keep calling him Eddie Norton, but it's Eddie Morton with an M. I have it in here as N, but I typed it wrong several times. After he was in vaudeville, he became a song plugger for Tin Pan Alley. I was like, I've heard of Tin Pan Alley. What the hell is it? Tin Pan Alley was a collective of music publishers in New York City. And they published sheet music back before radio was a thing, because everybody had to buy sheet music for the local pianists so they could have, like, everybody could share the experience of having some sort of good music all at the same time, like ragtime.
Yeah.
A song plugger would travel around and say, "Here's my stack of sheet music. I could play any of this for you. What do you want?" And when recording artists became a thing, he would basically sell various artists on different songs. Like, "Hi, I'm, I don't know, Britney Spears or something, and I need someone else to write my music for me. I'm a famous singer, but I'm not a writer. Here, sing these for me so I can kind of get an idea what it sounds like, because I also don't read sheet music." You know, things like that. I want to feel for it. So he was a very versatile artist, performer. When people started being able to record music, he was on that, like, right on rice. He lived from 1870 to 1938 and recorded Midnight Crew in 1909. That's what I got for this panel. Cool.
This is a small thing I literally just noticed and stuff. For this actual panel and stuff, we are facing from like the club door and stuff, and seeing the two other doors that are like hearts on one side, diamonds the other side, spade in front of us. But we never actually get to see, I don't think, club's door.
Oh,
Yeah.
hey. So we must be looking from the club store. I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're on 2228 on this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I would like to make an assumption that will possibly be thrown off later, that this is going to be kind of in Club being the narrator or something. Not necessarily perspective, but seeing a little bit through his eyes. I know that we're following someone else, but I feel like there's going to be a hint specifically from Club here.
Okay. I don't know if you're right.
Probably
I don't
wrong,
know enough
but
about the characters to say anything. And
okay.
like I kind of get that these are spoofs of the Problems with characters, sort of maybe, but I don't really know how. I don't know Problems with well enough to even follow that thought. So I'm like,
We just
sure,
ain't there
whatever
yet.
you say.
Fair enough.
Okay, 2228. Anything else?
228. Not in 2228.
Okay, I do. It's the same image, but now without the web frame. It feels like we're inside of the comic now. They're in an underground bunker. Card suits are on the walls. The characters might be from Problem Sleuth? ? The map is on the table with a big knife through it, and there's checks and dice and cards. Checks being the official name for poker chips.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's also
Apparently
a
that's a
deck.
thing. Anyway, they're called checks.
Yeah.
All right.
There's also a deck of cards with one of them being surround the spade.
Okay.
Okay. Next page.
Yep. 2229.
Yeah. This one I talked a little bit about the things that were mentioned here. Occam's razor.
Mhm.
Mostly I know that one from like story stuff and like, oh yes, the simplest solution equals the probably right one. You hear about that all the time for like people mentioning either in stories or about stories and stuff.
Mhm.
But the actual Wikipedia definition involves searching for explanations with the smallest possible set of elements. And I was thinking about like periodic tables and stuff, and I was like, that's probably
The wrong kind of element?
yeah. But it still gives me a different vibe than the original use of it. Yeah. Because small elements, I was like, little tiny parts versus simplest solution. Big difference here. You could have like little tiny parts being like those a dice, several dice rolled onto a table. They're the smallest ones and stuff, but the simplest solution would be to just pick up a dice and roll it or something.
Okay,
or a big dice or something.
Occam's razor. Yeah. In philosophy, it's not like, okay, in common knowledge, it's like the simplest solution is usually the right one. Fair enough. But when you're in a philosophical argument, what you're doing is assessing two competing theories. So it's a way of weighting two specific theories against each other and not of proving anything, but just like at a quick glance of these two, one of them is like 157 billion parts and the other one is 2. Which one's probably right?
Okay.
Okay, this becomes like sort of I wouldn't say that it really influences things very well, but it certainly has become sort of a thing, like when you're doing anything truly complex, like with computers, like people get more and more and more and more and more and more and more complex, and so they're like, this is how things work in data science. And so like, but the simpler ones are like John's Sylladex, first in, first out, or last in, first out. Just one of those two. Those are really, really simple. And then you get stuff like Dave's, where he has to consider every word he speaks as a kind of like a weird incantation. And he doesn't know what's going to come in and go out because he can't think fast enough. Okay, so John's is supposedly the stupid one, but of the two, it's certainly simpler.
It's the one that works better, supposedly.
If he's going to use his Sylladex as a weapon, yes, 100%. But
It's the one that seems to be having the least problems of the two so far.
They all have problems.
Yes,
Yeah.
but
So Occam's razor, kind of. It's often colloquially used to weed out conspiracy theorists, even though it's not actually fairly used in weeding out conspiracy theorists.
Okay.
Like, there's a theory that the trails across the sky are some kind of weird cult thing, or they might just be jet contrails that aren't actually full of weird poisons to manipulate people. And there's a theory that birds aren't real, right? So either there's birds or there's an elaborate conspiracy to make all of the birds. And like, which of these two Occam's two competing theories, which one is simpler? There's just fucking birds. And the other one, there's a lot of moving parts. So stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you have to have two specific theories in order for it to really apply.
Okay.
Anyway,
neat.
People use Occam's razor for a lot of things, but it's not always appropriate.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Good to know.
Yeah, because sometimes stuff is just complex.
Yeah. I also wanted to mention about the knife being left into the table. It reminded me of the whole sword in the stone thing. And I made a joke about whoever could remove the sword from the map is the one who will control the heist.
Rock on.
Thank you.
I like that. The other thing I have is related to Occam's razor.
Okay.
William of Occam, the guy who came up with Occam's razor, or is said to have come up with it. Anyway, he's a 14th century British Franciscan friar. Franciscan means people who worship the way of St. Francis, or actually, I just figured this out. St. Francis is all about keep to the simple life. And I'm like, so Occam's razor is kind of like a joke on him being a very simple-minded, simple monk. Anyway, he was a philosopher, a scholastic, which was a monk philosopher, and possibly the basis. This is where I'm kicking up for the character William of Baskerville in Umberto Eco's Name of the Rose. He's a combination of William of Occam and Sherlock Holmes, because Hound of the Baskerville is like a famous Sherlock Holmes story. Umberto Eco was a semiotician, and that means he studies the meanings of words and signs.
Okay.
And so the book is called The Name of the Rose, and William of Baskerville is like the sleuth character of this book. But The Name of the Rose never shows up in the book at all. It does in the movie, but it never shows up in the book.
Okay.
And he picked the name of the Rose apparently because he wanted to find a word that was full of symbolic meaning, but had no application to his book whatsoever, in order to cause the greatest possible, what the hell is this book about? So he left it a mystery for years, and then he wrote like a commentary on his own novel, and he was like, yeah, I was just doing it to fuck with people.
I guess that's one way to make hype around your book, but wow, silly.
Yeah. He was a very
clickbait. He got fucking clickbaited people.
Yes.
On book.
But it's a really good book.
That doesn't change the fact it's clickbait.
Okay, but anyway, it's related to the use of signs and symbols in that way is related to the Sweet Bro and Hella Jeff, just classed up and made intellectual. Anyway, it's all about religion and how the symbols of religion aren't meaningful in themselves, but people assign so much meaning to the symbols that meaning evolves out of the symbols and causes this one dude to murder somebody else. And then there's a whole chain of events that everybody's like, it's the end of the world, it's the apocalypse. And this other guy's like, I just wanted to kill this guy because he found a secret joke book. Like, I'm not joking. That's really the plot of the book.
Okay.
Yeah. And I want to say, I don't remember for sure, the guy who was the bad guy, and spoilers on a 30, 40-year-old book, but the guy who's the bad guy, I think was the same guy in the movie, was the same guy who voiced the professor in Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, neat.
That same kind of really nasal voice. All right. Anyway, I'm done with that picture. Thank you.
Yes.
It's a favorite book of mine. It's very exciting. I was talking about
Uh, 30?
Mhm.
Okay. So I wanted to make a joke about the whole being sealed underground via the car and stuff. It reminds me a lot of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Just because of the sewer cover?
Kind of, more so being trapped inside of the sewer because of a car is on top of the sewer cover.
Okay, I don't remember that, but I believe you.
I think it was in the live action one. I don't know. Anyways, point being was like, oh, yep, hello. Just a joke.
I went. They attempt to leave, but there's a car blocking the way out. Some unbelievable jackass has parked your getaway van on top of it. Who the fuck parked their getaway van on top of it in such a way that they can't get out? Because, assumedly, it's part of the crew. Like, how did they get into the bunker if someone parked on top of the bunker? Even though there are other doors, presumably they could get out via the doors, but they're trapped for 100 pages. I was like, is this one of those things where we're just breaking the fourth? We're breaking the continuity of the comic within the comic in order to show that comics are just comics. Are we back in Hello Jeff territory? Anyway,
I don't know about that, but I'm going to pretend that it was clubs because I can.
okay, fair enough. Clubs.
Oh, do you know which
if
one?
That's
Clubs?
your real name? No, I don't know.
Oh, Clubs is the shortest one. This one.
Okay.
His name is Clubs Deuces.
Okay. I all I knew is the Spade Slick. That's the only one I know at this point. So. All right. 2231.
Okay. Same. I mean, this one is a pretty big ruckus and stuff. We have an arm coming out of the heart door, a hole in the wall leading into the endless void.
Oh my gosh. Okay. It's like a minesweeper thing where everything is bombs.
Yep. A blender, real life blender.
Yeah. What is the deal with the blender?
I
That's
can't
a spoiler. Say. I can't say.
I mean, I have my thoughts on it. I don't know a direct answer, but my thoughts are yes, that's one's a spoiler.
I was like, is that somebody's stripe specifus right there? Blender.
No.
Your heart's a blender.
It's okay.
Okay.
Bunch of cards, bunch of apparently oh my god, my brain's just calling them chips, except whatever
checks.
Okay. We have a giant mace. We have people being smacked with giant boards and stuff. Well, other things. Mostly stick-like things. Bullet holes. The poor lamp is destroyed. All kinds of things. I don't know where that picture came from.
The picture in the background, I'm like, I should know who that is, but I am not coming up with his name.
No, me
for
neither.
The life of me. I'll have to figure it out later. I went on the Homestuck wiki to try and find out, and I like did a quick glance, and I'm like, there being only spoilers here, and Rip. Completely got out.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. I do not have an answer myself, though. I mostly just glared at that arm and went, "What are you doing there, buddy?"
Okay. Oh, I just noticed on one of the pages, the Occam's Razor page has he's got a list of his current strife objects. An X-Acto knife, a double-bladed knife.
That one's the Occam's Razor.
That one's Occam's Razor. Uses it there.
Yeah.
The X-Acto knife. There's a double-bladed thing, and then a Spanish
rapier.
No, that's a cuirass. Cuirass? I think. And that's a short sword and dagger. Anyway, he's got the map with a hole in the middle, which is not very helpful.
No. And also, the knife is gone in the table back on the page that we're currently on.
Oh,
yeah. Really? Well, it's not gone. It's just now fallen off of the table.
Oh, yeah.
With the map itself being gone, though.
Okay, where did the map go?
You will never know who
is
is
a very
now.
Distracting panel.
It is. We will never know who
Who
exactly
is
is
that guy's
controlling the heist now.
I know he's in a cop TV show, and he's been in a bunch of other things, but I am not coming up with his name.
We'll figure it out later. Oh,
Yeah, it wasn't one. It wasn't a show that I watched regularly. I just know about it.
okay.
Okay.
My next thing is 33.
Did I talk about? Okay, 31. Spade Slick. Since now I have his name.
Mm-hmm.
The name is based on Sam Spade, character by Dashiell Hammett in The Maltese Falcon, from 1930. The novel. Everyone is ostensibly chasing after this black statue of a Maltese Falcon. It's very valuable, blah, blah, blah. But the real story is about why Sam Spade has to get revenge against the person who killed his buddy, his co-detective, his partner. There you go, his partner. And he's out for revenge, even though he hates the guy.
Oh, okay.
You know, when someone kills your partner, you should do something about it. I think that's something close to the quote, not really.
That sounds like a very Homestuck thing to say, or maybe Problem Soup.
Yeah. Dashiell Hammett. He was a Pinkerton operative. Mm-hmm. Pinkerton was a detective agency that also did a lot of other shady shit.
Yep.
They started in 1850, and in 1861 they claimed to have foiled a plot to assassinate Lincoln. And during the Civil War, they were used to spy on Confederate positions and then get information. And then after that, before you start thinking of them as good guys, they tried to subvert the labor movement, and they often worked as strikebreakers. They infiltrated the Molly Maguires, which I had no idea what those were. They're a secret society of Irish coal miners, and the basis of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's novel Valley of Fear with Sherlock Holmes in it. Back to Sherlock Holmes. They're considered the forerunners to the Secret Service. They were hired to track Jesse James and other Western outlaws. The group still exists, and in 2023, the Wizards of the Coast hired the Pinkertons to seize products from March of the Machine, the Aftermath from Magic the Gathering, from Dan Cannon of Old School MTG, because he'd received the products before the official release date. Yep. And they were like, we tried everything legal to do it, so we sent in the Pinkertons. Pinkertons apparently did some semi-legal shit, but got the stuff back in time.
Yeah. That guy posted a video of it. He was a YouTuber, one of those unpacking the cards and showing off the things and stuff.
Yeah.
I think I remember looking that up, not for this, just in general. I would also like to note that I only vaguely know this one. I think they're the enemies or antagonists in Red Dead Redemption 2. Yeah.
Could be. I don't know enough about Red Dead Redemption, but Red Dead Redemption gives me I was part of the Civil War and I got out kind of vibe. So
there are a bunch of cowboys who are doing illegal things.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. That sounds about right.
I mean, I also know that they have some apparently great beard growing mechanics, but that's not very useful for this, no.
Anyway, he was a Pinkerton for a while, and then he got out and started writing detective fiction and wrote some of the most famous detective fiction of all time. Anyway, I also noted that Dave says the Midnight Crew began recently, but they're over 3,000 pages long. I'm like, are you making fun of Homestuck? Okay.
I'm assuming that I read that too, and I was like, you're totally making fun of yourself here, man. I don't know if it's specifically Homestuck, but it's not Homestuck.
I don't know if you're right, but you're not wrong. Okay. And then I'm on 2233.
Okay, same.
Okay.
Honestly, I kind of forgot that Dave wrote Sweet Bro and Hello Jeff for this is because I was focusing so hard on the whole Hussey writing it thing that I forgot about the actual end story, why it was here and stuff. And I was like, we probably could technically analyze stuff about Dave through Sweet Bro and Hello Jeff, but we probably shouldn't, both because Rose will probably do so later, and also because we've done enough Sweet Bro and Hello Jeff.
Yes.
Oh God, please no more today. Thank you. Past that, I was looking up "Heavy is the Crown," something Rose said, and I found out that there's like several songs that use that for in the title and stuff, like League of Legends featuring Linkin Park apparently in 2020 something, I think 2024. Anyways,
I don't know.
they have that as one of their songs, and then Iggy Azalea back in 2013, I think, that had Heavy Crown for hers. But most people are getting it from the quotes, bleh, bleh, bleh. Uneasy lies the head that wears a crown from William Shakespeare, though it's mostly known as heavy is the head that wears the crown. Um, it's a British saying, and boy howdy is that obvious. I mean, who else is going to be so pretentious about people wearing crowns?
Who else, I add, is going to run around and be like, nice crown, shame if anything happened to it, and then cuts off their monarch's head.
Yeah.
They're like, perhaps heavy hangs the head should be that wears the crown. If not, we got some solutions there.
Like you were talking about with the whole assassination thing of a president has to be assassinated hence for him to be a president.
That was a Sweet Bro and Hella Jeff thing, by the way.
Yep. But I was thinking about that, and then I went over to Oliver Twist, which was a story from Charles Dickens, in which an orphan boy flees a workhouse, meets some pickpocket boys, and reunites his family, as a very, very short summary.
Please, sir, can I have a short summary?
Anyways, Charles Dickens also appears in Doctor Who for the episode Unquiet Dead.
Okay, how did we get to Oliver Twist in the first place?
Oh, it's mentioned inside of the text. Literally, Oliver Twist. Dave is talking about how he doesn't want to step over like these orphan boys. Mentions Oliver Twist, and I was like, you know what? I'm sure people probably don't know much about Oliver Twist because I've heard about it before, but you know,
I completely missed it. Keep going.
Anyways, so Charles Dickens Doctor Who episode. It's an episode where ghosts are seemingly haunting a house, and Charles is involved because the Doctor and his companion commandeer his carriage to go chase after a ghost and stuff. And it's very Scooby-Doo in a way, but also not as whimsical as Scooby-Doo. But anyways, he gets swept along with that. And I was like, you know, you probably could make a Homestuck episode featuring Charles Dickens, Doctor Who, and the same thing. Because we already know way in the past for Tumblr history that you used to put Homestuck with anything you could get your little hands on. Like, there used to be this huge thing called Super Wholock, which featured Supernatural, Doctor Who, and Sherlock, all combined into a little fake fandom in one, but they also put that in the style of Homestuck for the art. It was a really big thing back in the day. It was huge. Part of that because Tumblr used to be like, yeah, okay, we will put GIF responses on anything they can. And so you'll be talking about a random thing, and then suddenly you'll get a supernatural GIF that's talking about whatever's inside of there, and you're like, oh, hey, okay, neat. And then you would find a Sherlock Holmes GIF based off of that, and a Doctor Who, and they just would bunch up together, and you're like, oh god, how did we get here at this point? But way back in the 2012s, kind of.
Okay, so Oliver Twist, Charles Dickens. Charles Dickens was a newspaper guy, started out as a newspaper guy, and eventually ran his own newspaper and published his own work in the newspaper as a serial. The fad at the time was for sensationalist fiction, which was basically you take stories in the news and you make them over the top. And so, like, you get a headline like, unwed mother murdered at 16 by the docks. killer still at large, and somebody would write a novel about it.
Mm-hmm.
And Charles Dickens was not about this, so you get a lot of things like, orphan scum makes good. Now famous businessmen or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of his stuff was kind of in that flavor. It was sensationalist fiction.
Mm-hmm.
But he drifted further and further and further away from the original news stories and started making works that were very creative on his own.
Mm-hmm.
So one of his friends at the time, they later were like, no, we can't fucking stand each other, was a guy named Wilkie Collins.
Mm-hmm.
He was also getting serialized in Charles Dickens' work. And he was one of the first writers of mystery novels.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't called it wasn't a mystery genre then, but he would be like stuff that's completely obvious to us now, and people would be like, plot twist! Like, there's a woman who's a crazy woman, or she's a ghost, we're not sure which, and she is haunting this manor and making everybody feel bad. And it was somebody that escaped from a mental asylum and is like, where's my baby? Where's my baby?
Mm-hmm.
Only their kid is grown up now.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it's a whole convoluted soap opera thing because it's a serial. It's episode. Things got more and more complex as things went on.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a resolution to the mystery. Somebody solved it. And then there was kind of like everybody went around and put things to order. So like justice was served. The bad guys got what was coming to them, and the good guys went on to a more prosperous life. So
Scooby-Doo, Run 2.
Yes. And Scooby-Doo comes from mystery, right? But it
Mm-hmm.
also points back to sensationalist thing,
Mm-hmm.
where they're like, here's the thing that's in the newspaper. And so connecting Charles Dickens and Scooby-Doo is 100% legit. Like, even jumping across, even though you have to leap over all of Noir and Dashiell Hammett to get there, there's like a whole pathway. Yeah. And 100%, the freaking sensationalist novels, a lot of them got turned into stage plays where they did the slamming of the doors, and like there's twins, and like one twin would come out and like blah 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 and go away, and then the other twin would come out blah 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 because it's the same actor
Mm-hmm.
on the stage, and the plot twist would be, but really they're the same person.
Uh-huh.
So,
why have we never seen both twins in the same room? I don't know, man.
Not just the same actor, it's actually the same character. Yeah. So like the slamming of doors in
soap operas.
The slamming of doors in Scooby-Doo comes from a long tradition of actors banging around and running back and forth and stuff like that, and like often switching their clothes as they circle back around behind stage.
Mm-hmm.
Like anyway,
neat.
It's just weird.
One last thing before I switch it over to you.
Okay.
At the very end, it's like Dave is saying, if you ever find yourself in the position where your life depends on me playing that piece of shit game, then I'll play. Yeah. And I went, I'm not sure if this counts as foreshadowing or backshadowing or what. Irony? Maybe, probably not, but it's definitely both.
Since it's backstory, it's kind of like just setting up, like, so how did he do this? Yeah.
All right.
It's a way to stitch us back to the present. It's kind of just not really back foreshadowing. It's just connecting us because we already know what's happening.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So I lost my spot. There we go. 2233, tentacle therapist and turntable godhead.
Turntech godhead.
Turntech godhead. I'm going to screw that up. She is very insulting to Dave. Rose's insulting to Dave. Dave puts up with it as though she weren't being insulted. I went like, that's a collapse of insult versus non-insult into meaning. Dave navigates that area very well of thing and its opposite. It would just strike me for a moment. Tentacle therapist. Her prose is purple, and it's purple prose, as in overly verbose and stuff. Lots of long vocabulary words and references. And then I went into the heavy as the head thing. From Henry IV, Part 2. I think he gets ganked. I don't remember for sure.
Probably.
I'm not a big Shakespearean historical person. I like the comedies and the tragedies. Life on the Line bit, same thing. Turn Tech Godhead wants to know if it makes her happy that he promised to play the game if her life is on the line, and she says more than you know. So here's another piece of evidence of Rose knowing more info ahead of time than the other characters. And that's what I got for that.
Okay. My next thing is 35. You?
Go for it.
I said, "Run, John, before the oil catches to you."
There's black goo underneath the door, and John goes to investigate, and a trail leads into the house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just giving context here.
Yes.
Okay.
My next thing now is 37. You?
Same.
Okay.
37. I just want to say that the sampler that Dave is playing on, his Sick Beats, it actually exists and in blue.
Oh,
okay. I was like, oh, since we have the name of the gear, let's look that up.
Yeah.
That's real. I was surprised for some reason. I don't know why.
Okay, well, I mostly just was like, oh, good to finally know the name of this piece of equipment. Okay, now onto the flash page 38.
Okay. I'm going to do this because I'm very short.
Mm-hmm.
The beats are indeed fat. I screwed around with it and I was like, ooh, these are all good. I want to spend more time messing with it, but I really should get back over here to the couch.
You can play with it later.
I can play with it later.
Okay.
I'm very happy.
So you can do an Easter egg to get the song Harlequin to play. You do so by, there's like the grid and stuff. You do each of the 4 corners, and up pops like question marks on the side and little squares at the bottom. The first button of those plays Harlequin, which we've already talked about before. Mm-hmm. The other 3 buttons, no. Yes, it is 3 buttons. 3 buttons don't do anything, because there was shenanigans of moving sites over stuff and they got dead. I'm sure there was probably other things involved in there. There was a different song that supposedly also played. I won't mention the title because that one's a spoiler. So sorry.
Okay.
But there used to be more Easter eggs on that past just having Harlequin on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I will definitely try that out.
Yeah. Now, for the actual songs themselves, the tracks themselves were made by Andrew Hussey, not Hussey, Gabe Nezovic, who made Aggrieve, that song we've heard with Rose playing on the violin, Robert J, like J as in with an exclamation mark, who is currently co-directing a game called Unbeatable he's co-directing it with Andrew Tsai. Someone whose username is Xerxes333, who I can't seem to find anything on, as you do. And Robert Blaker, who used to be on the official music team, but has also seemingly disappeared from the internet. As you do.
As you do.
That's mostly what I got on them.
Okay, that's all I have for that.
Yeah.
Moving on to 2239 is my next one.
Okay. Mine's 41.
Okay, so 2239. Dave tries to talk himself into having the apple juice, and words that he's actually thinking, or that the narrator is thinking, I'm not sure which, they start influencing his Sylladex, even though he's not actually putting things into the Sylladex or taking them out. So I'm like, does this indicate some kind of power or magic?
Mm-hmm. Like you're saying with the words that influence God thing. Side note, the word is swig in this case.
Yeah. He's using words to evoke stuff out of his Sylladex, even though he's not putting anything in, or really, he's just like, if the number adds up to 7, then I'm not just filing things in the Sylladex, I'm calling stuff out. Okay. Unfortunately, he can't help but think of Howie Mandel peeing into a bottle and refuses to drink it, spills the stuff.
Rip.
2242.
Okay. I got 41.
Go for it.
So Dave catalogs his juice, and in it you can see inside his Sylladex, the bottle suddenly gains back its green cap. But you can also see on the floor that green cap.
Dude!
And then you go to the next page. Well, not next page.
Couple pages down.
Where he is spilling juice onto his thing, his turntech tables. It wouldn't have that cap anymore because it's got spilled.
Mm-hmm.
But this cap is over here. It isn't flung magically off of it. It just teleports over to a different area, which I'm just going to assume is just a mistake continent-wise or whatever. But I'm like, so, you know what? This must be a pain in the ass for, like, you put any kind of cap, or like you have a jar in there you accidentally didn't have sealed or something, or like a water bottle, and you're like, oh, I'll just take out my water bottle, and you're like, yes, the cap is on inside of the Sylladex, so you take it out, and then whoops, it's not actually closed. Now you have spilled everything onto the floor, just like the juice. And I was like,
that's a really cool thing.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, does it mean that when the apple juice is inside the Sylladex, it's in its ideal state? And when it is not in the Sylladex, it's in a real state?
I was thinking it more so it was remembering the first time it was captured, like an image of it rather than being an ideal state.
Okay.
So that way you can remember it as the ideal state, but it is not technically in itself the ideal state. So, like, if we were capturing flowers or something, it would show the ideal state of those flowers, but maybe those flowers are decomposing inside of the thing, but we wouldn't know until we took them out. Or
okay,
if they were
saying the same thing then.
Okay.
Like, it might be the ideal state might be based on the first time you put it in there, but then it also might be like idea of flower, and then when you take it back out, it's rotting.
Yeah.
This reminds me of Dungeon Crawler Carl. Oh, I'm trying to remember if it's the first book or not. I'm on like, I don't know, book 3 or something. Anyway, he gets at one point he gets a hold of a bomb. Mm-hmm. He's like, I'm going to be really clever. So he times it so the bomb is about to go off, puts it inside of his inventory, and then transfers it from his inventory to the inventory of a dead character, knowing that somebody else is going to search the dead character. He fucking hates those guys. So whenever they search the character, the stuff will come out of the inventory first before it goes into their inventory, because they will be searching it before they put it into their inventory, because you don't want trash in your inventory. Everybody, throughout the beginning of the book, it's kind of sorted out that you get a lot of trash from stuff and you don't always want to pick it up, except Dungeon Crawler Carl is like, how much inventory space do I have anyway? Lots. Fun, let's take it all. And then some. He is of the Rachel theory of, we're gaming, let's
pick it all up.
Let's take the doors off the hinges and take those. Let's take the furniture. Let's take the floor.
We were doing a D&D game, and I stole scrying doors off of the hinges because there was nothing else.
You took an entire table.
Yeah, I did.
You did. I was like, I refuse to stop you from doing this. This is amusing as hell.
If I'm not given a reward, I will find my reward. Good luck to everyone else.
I am the GM now. Okay. 22, 42.
42.
Or are you done?
Oh, yeah, I'm good.
Okay. So 22, 42. Strafe Specibus is already allocated to Blade Kind. And I went, wait, this reminds me of Dave. Does this mean Spade Slick is the analog of Dave in the other team?
Ooh. I have no idea.
Okay. That's it.
Okay.
24, 44 is my next one.
Yeah, same. I was just mostly complaining about the whole spilling things out from a container you didn't realize was open thing in 2043. Right.
Fair.
How much do you have for 44?
That much.
Okay, you first.
Edgar Bergen. There's a brother, one of his brother's puppets is hanging on the wall, and there's a poster of a ventriloquist doll. The ventriloquist doll comes from, I think, Edgar Bergen's doll that was named Charlie McCarthy, one of the most famous ventriloquist dolls of all time. It gets used in a lot of other things, but that's the first doll with the heavy black brow and the kind of boyish face. Edgar Bergen had the doll head carved in 1919. He built the doll structure himself with a broom handle and a bunch of elastic cords on the inside.
Neat.
He used to tour around with it a lot, and at
Mhm.
one point he had a radio show. As in, there are no images, but the character was so famous that he had the ventriloquist doll on the show.
Must have been a lot easier to do that.
And people thought they were convinced that Charlie was a separate actor. The marionette in the hall is dressed in a gangster outfit.
I think it was a pimp outfit.
Okay, but I couldn't track down who it was, and I went to go look it up on the Homestuck site, and I'm like, spoilers about I'm out.
Yeah. No, I couldn't find it on the Homestuck site either myself. Okay. So, anything else you wanted to say on your side?
Mm-mm.
No. Okay. So first, I would like to note for this poster, there is an oil slick on this poster. That's what that is. It's dripping down.
I was like, that's a crow perched on there. I didn't look at it too closely.
No, it's the oil is staining here, which is why
I was. Zoom back in again.
Yeah.
There's also a floating square, like this gray square there.
Oh, that's a fake door.
Okay.
Or not fake door. It's hey, this is a door in this situation. Like in games, usually have a
when you're breaking
silhouette or something.
Fourth wall, you sometimes have silhouetted stuff. I was like, wow, that's weird. All right.
So there's an actual use here in game wise and stuff. That's my answer on that. Anyways, so part of the just was like, oh my god, the goo has infected over here too. Damn you, oily things, kind of thing. I didn't know
in the past too, because this isn't present. This is backstory, Dave.
Yeah. I did not know who this ventriloquist dummy was. I was like, it reminds me of Slappy the dummy from Goosebumps.
100%.
Yeah, but I was also like, oh yeah, that's right. There's well, sorry, I don't know why exactly this thing has been drawn over to have little wires coming from its eyes as well. I think that's dealing with the whole Dave having robots in his room as well for like on posters and stuff. I'm not 100% sure. Anyways, would also like to note that there's in Sam and Max, I've already mentioned this before, but I'm mentioning it again. Sam and Max, there's also a ventriloquist dummy that's a character in there as well. They use it for shenanigans, and it later is its own thing as well. Yes.
Okay.
As for the other puppet, I was like, I don't know who that is, but it looks a lot like a weird version of Charlie Chaplin. Like that an edited version. Yeah. So my best guess was this is a weird comedian that's been edited or something. But I was also like, it's interesting that this string puppets or I don't think it's marionette. Anyways, this puppet's skin is all grayed out versus the poster having like pinkish peach skin and stuff. It's not been edited on the poster, just drawn on top of. But Dave's bro seems to have an inkling or a liking towards having his actual puppets having gray skin and colorful clothing. That's, well, not colorful in the usual way, as in it's got a base color of black and then colors that are like kind of neon-y drawn on top of it. I will not say more on that. Yeah, I will not say more on that.
Okay. I'm looking at Charlie Chaplin to see if he looks kind of the same, like the scamp, not Charlie Chaplin specifically. But he does have a very narrow face, so maybe.
Here is the marionette if you want.
Yeah, I've been flipping back and forth.
Okay. Okay. Anyways, yes, that's what they got for this bit.
String puppet equals marionette.
Okay.
That's just what it's called.
Okay. I was thinking of something more fantastical looking, or not fantastical, fancy looking with the ball dresses and stuff. And I was like, I don't know if that's quite it, but anyways. Oh, speaking of which, marionettes are used in CL Phantom Hive? No. Black Butler, that's what it's called.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
It's one of those situations of where I don't remember what it was, a demon maybe trying to control CL's fiance and turn her into a marionette to attack him, I think.
Okay.
That's vague remembering things and stuff. But
I don't think I got that far in.
No.
Okay.
From ages of when I was very young, trying to remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyways, next page.
2251. What do you got?
2250. I got 45.
Go for it.
This marionette, since we're apparently calling them marionettes, also has gray skin, which was why I was mentioning it for the previous panel. It also has a headphones or something, or well, not technically headphones. I don't think they look more like those "do not hear any sounds" kind of headphones. I can't remember what those are called, but heavy duty ear headphones and stuff. It definitely looks more doll-like than human-like, so I don't think it's like the previous version, which was more a doll, I think.
Yeah, that does look like a doll, like a specific doll.
Yeah.
I can't remember what those are called. It's an insulator of some kind, like if you're shooting guns.
Yeah.
I forget. Like the name escapes me.
Anyway, specific headphones, blah blah blah.
Okay.
Also, the sink here is photorealistic. I just noticed that now. There's a photorealistic towel as well as the puppet, but that sink is obviously so photorealistic, and yet how did I miss that? Anyways.
Same.
Da-da. Then my next thing is on 49.
Go for it.
Pew, pew, pew. Okay. So Dave's copies of his Spurb, now that he's finally toweled them off as well as the turntable, are now finally stained. Which is how they got to be stained in the first place when we see them in before.
Yep.
And then he hangs them up outside the window that's apparently open and I hadn't realized.
Okay, so earlier we saw him with the copies on his desk, and then he hangs them up. So we know when the parallel stuff happened in the universe.
Mm-hmm.
So he must have been frantically texting or pester chumming people in between those two panels.
Uh-huh.
Okay, got it.
Shenanigans. Oh, hey, I'm getting an advertisement for Homestuck on Homestuck. Homestuck.
I usually have that. What do you mean you don't?
I usually get Fruity Rumpus Asshole Factory, or the weird little pill, red pill, blue pill thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
Right.
Fair enough.
Then 56 is my next one.
51. 2251, the narrator points out that surely losing the game out the window will never resurface as a concern. 53, see ya. Rambunctious is uncontrollable exuberance. I went, wait, this is a long vocabulary word. Is Rose the narrator? Because the narrator of Homestuck doesn't quite talk like Rose, but very close.
We did note, well, while Dave was talking earlier, he did use giant words as well with talking with Rose.
Yeah, but he's got a different and Rose is like blah, 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 blah.
Yes.
Okay.
I will not disagree. I just wanted to note that Dave himself also has these verbose moments.
Yeah, but they're used for rhythmic purposes. There's
Yeah.
almost always a poetic beat in there.
Yeah. Also, I was trying to figure out if this was a crow or a raven, and I could not figure it out because I can't see the tail feathers.
Right.
Rip.
It's very large. I'd say probably a raven, but who knows? Yeah. It's called a rambunctious crow, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your turn.
I didn't write down page numbers after this. Dave kills the crow with a ninja sword from the Sylladex. Everything falls out the window. He looks out the window and says he can kiss all that stuff goodbye. I'm not sure why, because we're not at a point where the ground is gone yet. So why is he just like embarrassed? He looks horrified. Is there something on the ground?
It might be well, one, it's because it's so far away and you're like, oh, I don't want to go back down there and stuff for copies I don't even care about, I'm assuming. But also, it kind of reminds me of how in Problem Sleuth there's the whole stuff outside the window, and you're like, how is he gonna get that? I don't know, man, kind of thing. But as for him looking horrified moment, I think he just genuinely feels bad about killing that girl.
Yeah.
He's got the tiny little exclamation mark on this page, which is right here.
That is so cute. Oh my gosh. Me too.
Mm-hmm. It's on 2056.
Okay, I'll get there.
Or 2256, I
you
mean.
can
sorry.
keep talking.
Anyways.
It's going to take me a minute.
I made note of that tiny little exclamation mark, and I went, fair enough, Dave. I too would be doing a oh no exclamation mark as well.
So on I think the page before that,
he has the exclamation mark. Yeah,
he still has his exclamation mark. Stop! Psh. Everything goes out the window. And there it is. Oh my gosh, it is so tiny. Like, how did you even notice that?
I know Homestuck.
Okay.
We'll just say it like that.
All right. It's a spoiler. God damn it!
No, it's not a spoiler. It's I've seen shenanigans happening like this and been like, wait, yes, let me look for those types of shenanigans happening again.
Okay. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm on the look out the window.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go for it.
He's looking out the window. Some very bland looking bricks drawn on the wall, and I was like, hee. That reminds me of Problem Sleuth style of how those bricks look. Just them being drawn doubled over instead of having solid lines like everything else Homestuck has had so far.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, all right.
And then we go over to the wizard, who I think his teeth are wrong. Like, I don't think he has canines. He has buck teeth, though. You can tell that. He has buck teeth.
He has rocks. He has rocks in his mouth.
Yeah. He is a statue, though, so it's fair enough. Anyways, that's what I got.
Okay. So the image goes from Dave looking out the window, and there's a bit of flashy text that says, oh, snap, and then it changes to an image of a wizard, and presumably, which interrupts the narrative with, oh, wait, whoa, wait, what? And then we switch to Rose, back in the present time, which to me says another thing where she's somewhat the narrator, because she sees the wizard, but she sees the wizard because she's narrating her own story at that moment. Anyway.
Which involves wizards.
Anyway, the next panel we switch to Rose. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. I do not actually have anything on this to say for this page.
I didn't get that far.
No.
I was like, I'm stopping before we get back to Rose. I read further, but I didn't. I was like, we need to cut this off so it's not 2 hours long.
We are instead 1 hour long.
Wow. Oh my God.
We're 103.
So much for short. Oh, well.
You know what? Compared to the previous stuff we've been doing recently, that's short enough.
It's short enough. Also, it was way less intense. Like, how many rabbit holes did I have to go down for Sweet Bro and Hellojust? A lot. So this was a much lighter lift, I guess.
Yeah. We didn't go through each panel and be like, ooh, this thing is interesting. We must talk about it further and further. And oh God, how did we get here? So, yeah. Anyways.
We tried. Anyway, stopping down.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us. Until next time.